When a man is poor, he may feel obligated to ask for approval before having intimacy with his own wife. This is the heartbreaking reality of Smart, a formerly successful businessman now struggling in the depths of poverty. He's been married to his wife for 3 years, but their season of wealth lasted only 2, ruined by her careless spending habits. As the wealth disappeared, his wife's interest in intimacy faded too, since her love language was fueled by reckless spending. She had clearly warned Smart before this night to stop seeking intimacy, insisting that a poor man isn't worthy of her honeypot. Smart believes there's room for negotiation and compromise in her decision, as he feels money shouldn't dictate her willingness to be intimate. A woman who only shows love and affection when wealth is present has already put her love up for sale to the highest bidder. Smart is left helpless, sharing the same bed with his legally wedded wife, yet unable to touch her, reduced to a silent admirer in his own marriage. Nothing breaks a man faster than seeing his own wife deny him his marital rights simply because he's struggling financially. His wife has indirectly given him two choices: either step out to seek intimacy elsewhere or step out to chase money. Knowing he stands no chance of being intimate with her, Smart chooses to leave the room, as her presence continues to stir his desires. That same night, Smart sits alone outside, consumed by thoughts of how badly his wife has been treating him since he fell into poverty. As Smart sits deep in thought, a stranger clad in an elegant Vigerex Fashions outfit walks up to him with a calm, confident stride. As the stranger gently reaches out to touch him, Smart jolts in brief shock. The stranger then calmly takes a seat beside him, his expression filled with quiet concern. The stranger introduces himself as Bhadman, then gently asks Smart why he's sitting outside so late at night. Without hesitation, Smart opens up to Bhadman, sharing the detailed story of how he went from a wealthy man to one struggling in poverty. He lost his business while trying to financially please his wife, despite knowing her spending was careless and unsustainable. He also confides in Bhadman that since he became poor, his wife has shut him out emotionally and physically, claiming she no longer feels anything for him. Emotional rejection strips a man of his sense of worth, reducing him from a predator by nature to a prey waiting to be considered. Moved by the harsh reality Smart is facing, Bhadman reaches into his pockets and pulls out some cash to offer him. Without saying a word, Bhadman counts the money carefully and hands every note to Smart, leaving him deeply shocked by such a generous gesture. Smart never intended to gain financial support by sharing his struggles with Bhadman, yet Bhadman chose to help him unexpectedly. He goes on to inform Smart of his intention to help him regain his financial stability, but only if he's open to receiving the support. Smart falls to his knees, overwhelmed with gratitude, both to thank Bhadman and to show his acceptance of the offer to help him regain his financial footing. Bhadman gives him clear directions to his house, then rises to his feet. Still surprised by Bhadman's kindness, Smart falls to his knees once more in gratitude and promises to visit him the next day as requested. Bhadman walks away, leaving Smart on his knees, completely lost in appreciation and gratitude for the kindness shown to him. What began as a night of frustration for Smart has unexpectedly turned into a night of redemption. Smart walks over to his wife on the bed, cheerful and eager to share the news about the money he received. He taps his wife to wake her, but she wakes up upset, suspecting he's trying to lure her into intimacy, something she's ready to firmly decline. In an effort to capture her full attention, Smart reaches into his pocket to pull out the cash, knowing that just the sight of it will brighten her mood. He pulls out the cash, counting it with a smile in front of her, and she quickly takes it, her excitement proving she's making sure it's real and not just a dream. She embraces him happily, while he calmly tells her about meeting a stranger outside who gave him the money and asked him to come by the next day to help him rebuild his life. His wife believes this is God's way of restoring their wealth, as she's grown tired of living in poverty with him, and she immediately urges him not to miss his appointment with the man tomorrow. With the money physically in sight and hope for a brighter tomorrow, his wife's desire for intimacy rekindles, not wanting to miss out on the new prosperity. A heart that awakens only at the touch of wealth is chained to material greed, not love. The next day, Smart arrives at Bhadman's house as requested, his heart filled with hope and expectation for a better life ahead. They both settle on the couch as Bhadman officially welcomes Smart to his home, expressing his appreciation for taking the bold step to come. Smart quietly takes in the beauty of the house, then once again expresses his heartfelt thanks to Bhadman for the help he offered the night before. He also expresses his willingness to commit to any decision or action required to lift him out of poverty, admitting he's completely fed up with his current state. Poverty has the power to make a man accept any offer of wealth without pausing to read the terms and conditions attached. Convinced of Smart's determination to reclaim his place in wealth, Bhadman reassures him of his full commitment to help him rise again. Hearing this, Smart bursts into joy, silently celebrating the unseen wealth ahead, convinced in his heart that Bhadman was sent to deliver him from the grip of poverty. Bhadman suddenly rises to his feet and asks Smart to follow him, without offering any explanation about where they're headed. Bhadman brings Smart before a native daughtress, known far and wide as the daughter of wealth in human form, an embodiment of riches and power. She's widely feared and respected for her diabolical powers, known to grant immense riches in exchange for a specific sacrifice, and she also serves as Bhadman's hidden source of wealth. Smart had no idea this was what Bhadman had in mind when he offered to help. Now faced with a path he never wished to tread, he finds himself torn and willing to take the diabolical route to wealth. While Smart is still objecting, the witch daughtress suddenly interrupts, bluntly telling him that to gain the wealth he desires, he must offer his wife as the sacrifice. He immediately refuses, firmly telling her he has no interest in gaining wealth through sacrifice. But the witch daughtress, unfazed, warns him coldly that he has 3 days to bring his wife or he dies. She commands them both to leave her shrine at once, then firmly warns Smart to return before the 3 days expire or face the consequences. Back at home, Smart's wife lies on the bed, focused on her phone, patiently waiting for his return from Bhadman's house. Smart walks in, his face cold and unreadable. He sits on the bed without a word, completely ignoring his wife, who's been waiting to hear all about his day. His wife gently tries to get through to him, hoping to understand why he returned so distant. But Smart remained silent, torn within, battling whether to tell her the horrifying truth or protect her from it. His silence sparks his wife's anger, convinced that he's too weak to follow through with whatever the man asked of him. In frustration, she lashes out, telling him to just do whatever the man says, and storms out, leaving him behind in silent torment. So consumed by her love for money, Smart's wife doesn't bother to question what it will cost him to gain wealth, completely unaware that her own life is the price. Two days later, Smart arrives at Bhadman's house with his wife, having made the heartbreaking decision to sacrifice her for wealth. They both sit on the couch, and without wasting time, Bhadman calls Smart to come and sit beside him. Smart quietly walks over and sits beside Bhadman. In a low, heavy tone, he subtly points at his wife, silently confirming that she is the chosen sacrifice. Smart's wife remains unaware that their visit to Bhadman's house is not to show appreciation as a couple as Smart had led her to believe, but for something far more sinister. She sits innocently, admiring the beauty of the house, completely unaware that the two men seated nearby are calmly plotting her demise right in her presence. Smart discreetly hands Bhadman a piece of cloth, and Bhadman subtly slips it into his pocket, where he soaks it in a choking substance, then quietly hands it back to Smart without raising suspicion. Midway, Smart feels a wave of doubt wash over him, torn by the weight of what he's about to do. But the thought of losing his own life if he fails to go through with the sacrifice hardens his heart. He composes himself and quietly walks over to sit beside his wife, now viewing her not as the woman he once loved, but as the gateway to the fortune he craves. He sits beside her and casually starts a conversation about how beautiful the house is, using compliments and promises to distract her, carefully steering her attention away from the dark plan he's moments away from carrying out. He covers her face with the white cloth, and she gradually slips into unconsciousness. When the pursuit of wealth demands a human sacrifice, you've already strayed far off the right path. Bhadman slowly begins to applaud him, praising his bravery for going through with the decision. In that moment, he rises and firmly orders Smart to bring his wife's unconscious body along with him. Wrestling with doubt, Smart hesitantly asks Bhadman if there's still a chance to reconsider his choice. But Bhadman quickly silences him, firmly insisting they proceed without wasting time. Smart slowly lifts his wife onto his shoulders, heading toward the witch daughtress. The shoulder once meant to support her has now become the one leading her into danger. They arrive at the witch daughtress's house, with Smart carrying his unconscious wife draped over his shoulders, silent, heavy and unaware of the fate that awaits her. The witch daughtress commands Smart to place his wife on the floor. With Bhadman's assistance, he carefully lays her down, setting the stage for the sacrifice to begin. The witch daughtress begins chanting incantations and performing a spiritual ritual dance over the wife's body. She calls upon her god of wealth, chanting and moving in a trance-like state. After a while, she turns to them and declares that the sacrifice will grant Smart immense riches. She instructs them to leave her shrine, stating that the ritual is complete. Bhadman departs with a satisfied smile, believing he has successfully ended Smart's struggle with poverty. When desperation meets darkness, even love can become a casualty on the altar of greed. Smart's wife unknowingly pressured him into choosing wealth at the cost of her own life. In the right hands, love becomes a beautiful dream, but in the wrong mind, it turns into a hauntingly beautiful nightmare. Smart gained wealth through his wife's sacrifice, but in doing so, he lost his peace of mind. This is a lesson to everyone. Greed can cloud judgment. When wealth becomes the goal above all else, morals are easily sacrificed. Love tied to money is unstable. When affection depends on riches, it fades as quickly as the money does. Not every helping hand is clean. Some offers come with hidden costs that outweigh their help. Please share this video and comment where you are watching from.